Good evening and welcome to Skylands Ice World inside the Coliseum for Pope John Middle School playoff hockey. Mike Forbesano here calling tonight's action. Thank you so much for joining us as the Pope John Junior Lions, the number one seed in the Skylands Ice World Middle School League at 9-1 this season, take on High Point Wallkill Kittatinny. High Point defeating Jefferson last week to advance to the semifinal against the number one seeded Pope John Lions. And this game is about to get started as Pope John, with a victory, will advance to the final to take on West Milford Pequannock, who defeated Wayne just before this game on this ice, 9-3. So West Milford Pequannock is through to the final, and who will they play? Either Pope John or High Point. Let's go over the rosters. We start with High Point. Number 1 in goal, Aiden Juba. Number 3 is Dustin Slyman. Number 6, Clayton Atkins. Number 9, Mason Hall. Number 11, Anthony Pagano. Number 12, Anna Atkins. 13 is Johnny Tokar. 14, Anthony Monda. 15 is Michael Monda. 16 is Hunter Leo. 17, Jackson Shea. 18, Jason Shell. 19, Damian Slater. Number 21, Nate Blythe Troy. Number 22, Stephen Didone. Number 27, Noah Bernstein. Number 86, Thomas Cook. And number 96, Benjamin Drellick. The head coach for High Point Wallkill Kittatinny is Michael Beltran. Assistant coaches Mike Bernstein and Eric Slater. For the Pope John Lions, the roster starts with number 6, Aiden Armiger. Number 9, Logan Dixon. Number 11, Luke Walsh. Number 12, AJ Acuria. Number 15, Josh Boyce. 22 is Michael Forbesano. Number 23, Ronnie Ziegler. Number 17 is Hannah Marshall. 24, Tristan Stillwagon. 36, Hayden Marshall. And 98 is Ryan Walsh. In goal for the Pope John Lions is number 33, James Boyce. And injured for this game is Connor Dunn. And we hope he comes back for maybe the final next week against West Milford Pequannock. Connor Dunn is normally number 19. The head coach of the Pope John Lions is Maria Petro. Assistant coaches Mark Weaver and Charlie Spetz. I am Mike Forbesano. We are here live inside the Coliseum. It's Pope John and High Point in the semifinal of the Skylands Middle School League. And that is next right here at Skylands Ice World. We'll be right back for opening face-off. Welcome back to Skylands Ice World inside the Coliseum for Pope John Middle School Hockey. Mike Forbesano along with you, calling tonight's action as the Pope John Junior Lions take on High Point, Wallkill, and Kittatinny. These teams met twice in the regular season. In game number 3, it was Pope John defeating High Point 10-7, and then it was High Point getting their revenge against Pope John in game number 9 with a 10-6 decision against the Lions. It was the only defeat for Pope John all season long. And so now the rubber match between Pope John and High Point right here tonight. Want to give a shout out to Steve Jacoby, who is home resting. Steve is the in-law of the Blythe Troys, Noah Blythe Troy and Sharon Blythe Troy, and son Nate on High Point, who also plays on the Skylands team of a lot of these players. He's home resting, had some surgery, and we hope he feels well, and we give him a good shout-out tonight and hope he gets better soon. Opening face-off between Pope John and High Point. It'll be Tristan Stillwagon taking the draw with Ryan Walsh on the left and Ronnie Ziegler on the right against number 19, Noah Bernstein. Bernstein's actually wearing number 19 instead of the roster 27. I believe that's Damian Slater. Pope John and High Point, let's do it from the Coliseum at Skylands Ice World in the semifinal of the Skylands Middle School League. Face-off is won by Bernstein, and it goes back to Damian Slater, number 27. He goes ahead and sends it in. Bernstein crosses the line. He's got the puck knocked off his stick by Armiger, and it goes to the far boards. Pope John looking to play it out. The Lions in their blue jerseys with white trim, white numbers and names, along with the Pope John crest on the front of the jersey. High Point in their black jerseys with red trim and white outlining the numbers. Here is Slater, number 27, stolen away by Stillwagon. Tristan Stillwagon in the high slot. Comes back to the line. There's Dixon. Logan Dixon to the far end. It comes back outside the zone, and he'll regroup there. Dixon over to Walsh. Walsh will send it in. Around the boards it goes. Picked up by Michael Monda, number 15. Now Bernstein across the blue line. Bernstein over the red. Noah Bernstein, explosive for High Point. Comes into the zone, knocked off his stick by Luke Walsh. And Walsh will take it, looking to pass it up. He gives it over to Hayden Marshall. Marshall knocked off his stick by Monda. Marshall's still inside the zone. Marshall will turn around. Setting up the shot off of the ankle of Michael Monda. And he'll feel that one tomorrow as he winced when it bounced off his ankle. All the way down the ice it goes. No icing as A.J. Acuria, number 12, picks it up for Pope John. Off the skates of Formisano, it goes to number 21, Blythe Troy. Down on the far boards, here's Marshall. Hayden Marshall over the blue line. Marshall coming in. The shot. He scores! Hayden Marshall puts Pope John up 1-0. The goal coming in a minute 37 of the first period. Hayden Marshall puts the Lions up 1-0. 13:23 remaining, and Pope John on the board. And you know, Pope John is spoiling to get back to avenge their one loss of the season against High Point about a month and a half ago. Pope John hasn't played in a month. Last game was against Jefferson on February 4th. Now here's Ziegler. Ziegler past Anna Atkins. He'll send it inside the zone. Here's Ziegler, the shot. Save Juba into the red basket, and he'll hold on. .13:05 remaining. Face off to the right of Juba. It'll be Ziegler taking the draw with Stillwagon on the right. Back to Armiger. Armiger with the slap shot. Saves Juba. It'll go into the corner. Handled there by Stillwagon. Over to Dixon. Logan Dixon with it now, trying to skate in. Knocked off his stick by Blythe. Dixon with the shot. It's loose in front. And they can't put it home. Josh Boyce wearing the number 24 on both the front and back of the jersey, as they believe he's missing his initial jersey. Is that Josh Boyce, number 24? It is. Okay. Coach Petro confirming that it is indeed Josh, as we're offside, and it'll be just outside the zone. Face-off will be Luke Walsh going up against Benjamin Drellick. Brother Ryan on the left, Formisano on the right, Dixon and Armiger on defense. Pope John, their first year inside the league, 9-1 this season to lock down the number 1 seed. But the way the playoffs broke, they get number 3 High Point. Here's Dixon in. Dixon with the shot. Saves Juba. And it goes into the far corner. Albeit that Pope John had a depleted roster in that game. However, you play it as you play it. And Pope John did suffer the defeat. High Point getting the win in that game. And so they were 1-1 in the season. Here's the shot by Walsh. Just on the side of the net. He's now behind it. Walsh on his backhand. Walsh in front of Formisano. Formisano the shot. Off the glass. The stick was deflected by number 27, Damian Slater. Here's Luke again. Walsh will turn back around. Intercepted, and High Point looks to clear the zone. Here is Armiger at the red line. Single elimination in the semifinal between Pope John and High Point. The winner moves on to the final against West Milford Pequannock. The loser goes home. Here is Slater. Clears the zone, intercepted by Dixon. Logan Dixon, pass up to Ziegler. Comes in, Ziegler with the puck, and he just can't tee it up as it was rolling on him. Behind the net, in front, the shot by Formisano. He scores! Michael Formisano puts Pope John up 2-0. Ziegler with the pass out front. Formisano waiting in the crease area, and he bangs it home, and Pope John takes a 2-0 lead. The goal comes with 11:16 remaining. Formisano from Ziegler, and Pope John up by a deuce. Stillwagon will take the draw against Bernstein. Here it is. Stillwagon wins it, and it goes over to Marshall. Here's Hayden Marshall turning back around. Marshall in his own zone being chased by Bernstein. As you saw, if you watched the High Point and Pope John game earlier, and the shot by Bernstein into the breadbasket of James Boyce, he makes the save. As I was saying, Noah Bernstein and Michael Monda dominated that performance for High Point. Bernstein, such an explosive player, led all scorers in his travel league for the Skylands kids in the league this year. Not just his team, but the league. And then Michael Monda as well. And you got other talent on that team, Damian Slater and Nate Blytroy. And, the list goes on and on. But High Point, an extremely dangerous team. Here is Hayden Marshall over the blue line. Marshall, the pass across to Ziegler. Ziegler in the corner, the backhander off of Blytroy. Now in front, Marshall tried to tee it up and rolled on him. And so now it's picked up by High Point. And they send it all the way down the ice. Pass kind of Marshall, number 17. Bernstein's got a beat on it. A Curie on him. Now in front, intercepted by Ziegler. And forgive me, my voice is kind of going. We recovered from a cold earlier this week, so we'll do our best. 10:15 to go in the first period. Still Wagon intercepted by Blytroy, and it goes all the way down the ice and into the corner. Mercuria picks it up, pass out to Marshall. Hayden Marshall across the blue line. Now across the red. Marshall coming in with Luke Walsh and Ronnie Ziegler. Marshall to Ziegler, and he can't tee it up as it bounced on him. And Bernstein will take it. Bernstein right in front of us. Zooms into the zone. Bernstein with the shot. He scores underneath the pads of James Boyce. And Bernstein's goal puts High Point on the board. It's now Pope John 2, High Point 1. As I said, even the Pope John High Point win in week 3 was an extremely close game. It was 7-7 with only 2.5 minutes remaining before the Lions scored the last 3 goals of the game. And then High Point turned around. They took a 7-1 lead on Pope John in their game and their victory in week 9. Pope John cut it to 7-5, but couldn't get any closer as High Point won 10-6. Here is Monda across the blue, now across the red. Josh Boyce all over him wearing number 24 tonight. Monda goes in the far corner with it. Dixon trying to scoop it out. It gives it to Walsh. Ryan Walsh with the pass to brother Luke. Luke up the ice to Boyce. Intercepted by Slater. Damian Slater with it. He'll send it all the way in to the zone. I mentioned in week 3, the first matchup between these two teams, that this was a heavyweight matchup. Looking at the, it's a semifinal tonight. So if that was a heavyweight matchup, this is for the belt. Here's Walsh in front. The shot. Save Juba. And he'll hold on. Walsh's shot rising into the breadbasket area of Juba. And he covers for the face-off. Yeah, this is a WWF or WWE super heavyweight title tonight. The semifinal, and in many ways this could very well have been a final. But West Milford Pequannock is on to the finals, having defeated Wayne 9-3. Here's a shot by Stillwagon, just wide. Former shot trying to tuck it home. Can't do so. All 3 of those teams, powerhouses in the Skylands Middle School League. Monda with the shot, saved by Boyce. It's loose and he covers right on the side of the net. 8:33 to go, first period. 2-1. Pope John leads over High Point. Goals by Hayden Marshall and Michael Formisano for the Lions. And Noah Bernstein with a tally for High Point so far. Shots on goal, 6-2 in favor of Pope John. Ziegler will take the draw. He wins it. It goes in the corner. There's a Curie. He'll send it around. Still wagging on it. Takes a weird bounce off the doors. Right near that Zamboni entrance. When we talk about the Zamboni doors, and we've mentioned that throughout the years. The puck always takes strange bounces off those doors. Here's Ziegler coming with Formisano. Ziegler getting around Ad Atkins. The shot off of the stick blade of Aiden Juba and off the near boards. Backhanded out by High Point, and down the ice it goes. Here's Hannah Marshall behind her own net. Marshall drops it off to Ziegler. Ziegler will race up to the face-off circle, looking to break the zone. Comes across the blue, now across the red. Ziegler in. Does he look to go end-to-end? Nice 360 move, and the puck's finally tied up. He gives it to Formisano. Now Anna Atkins with it. Atkins sends it up the ice. Over the red, coming in over the blue. Atkins in the corner, Armiger on her. Knocked off the puck by A.J. Arcuri and the pass it to Formisano. Formisano poked away by High Point. Now the backhand into Marshall. Goes to Hayden Marshall. Marshall with Walsh. Marshall. Walsh behind him. And Blytroy knocks both off the puck. Here is Nate Blytroy racing across the blue. The shot on goal. Saved by Boyce. And he'll steer it to the corner. Now Dixon with it. Intercepted by Bernstein. Noah Bernstein with the shot. Saved by Boyce. Goes back into the corner now. Bernstein on it. Armiger on him. Marshall steals it away. Over to Luke Walsh. It's tied up. Marshall picks it up. Hayden Marshall going behind his own net. Marshall off the boards. Plays it up the ice. Gives it to Josh Boyce. Boyce over the blue line. Boyce tripped down by Bernstein. No call and we play on. Bernstein with the cross ice pass. High Point coming over the line. Back to Monda. Michael Monda tees up, fires over the crossbar. Now Bernstein at the point. Slap shot goes wide left. Off the boards and bounces off the dasher. And now Ziegler picks it up. Ronnie Ziegler with it. Ziegler with a 2-on-1 with Boyce. Ziegler coming in. Ziegler knocked off his stick by Bernstein, and it goes along the far boards. Now Dixon with it. Logan Dixon at the point. Dixon skating in, the shot on goal. He scores! Logan Dixon finds the net just inside the right post. And Logan Dixon's goal puts the Lions up 3-1. Dixon's goal comes with 6:02 remaining in the first period. Logan Dixon gives Pope John a 3-1 lead. Still laying to Bernstein on the draw now. Bernstein wins it. He goes forward with it. Noah Bernstein over the blue line. Stolen away by Ryan Walsh. Now Bernstein gets it back. Shot. Stick saved by James Boyce. And into the netting and out of play. A lot of these guys on both teams play with each other on the Skylands travel team. Noah Bernstein and Ryan Walsh, who were just on defending parts of that play, opposite sides, I should say. And they were on a line together all season long. Here's the face-off, won by Bernstein. Blocker glove save by Boyce off the Monda shot. Here is Ziegler. Ronnie Ziegler over the red line. Walsh with him. Ziegler tried to get into the corner around Slater. Pass in front is slides through the crease. Back to Hannah Marshall. Marshall will play it over to Ryan Walsh. Walsh, number 98 for the Lions. Walsh in the high slot, the shot. Off the crossbar and out of play into the netting above the glass. Ziegler was right on that. He may have got a tip, but it hit the crossbar and went out of play. 3-1, Pope John leads on goals by Marshall, Formisano, and Dixon. 5:25 remaining in the opening period. Face-off between Luke Walsh. Trying to see who the number is for High Point. Luke Walsh coming back from a championship game himself on the Skylands team earlier today. And unfortunately, they lost to a team from Philadelphia. But Luke Walsh racing back from Hollandale, New Jersey to play in this game today. I know Aiden Armiger did the same thing. So a lot of credit to those guys racing back from being out of town to get here for tonight's game. Here is Marshall. Marshall along the far boards. Pass into Formisano. Now back to Dixon. Logan Dixon with it. Dixon trying to get around number 22, Didone. The shot saved by Zuba. And it goes into the corner. And there is Hayden Marshall with it. Intercepted. And we've got a break for High Point. There's Benjamin Drellick. Marshall on him, however, cuts him off. Steals the puck away. Here is Marshall off the boards. Now Walsh. The pass to Marshall. He's got Formisano with him. 2-on-2 coming in. Marshall fires, saves Zuba. It's loose. Now Marshall has it behind the net. Sends it back around. Armiger with it. Into Luke Walsh. Walsh in the corner. Hannah Atkins on him. Walsh coming back behind into Formisano. The shot just wide right. Oh, he was teeing for that upper corner of the net. Just missed it. Now here's Dixon. Loses it over to High Point. Didone picks it up for High Point and loses it over to Logan Dixon. Dixon with a goal already. Looking for number 2. Coming over the blue line. It's on his backhand. The shot. just wide left and into the near corner. Forbesano with it now on the high slot. Forbesano coming in. Rips it. Save! It's loose. Stillwagon got a skate on it. Now Forbesano on the side. Cleared out of the way by High Point. Taken away by Stillwagon. Now Dixon for Pope John. Shot comes in. Knocked down by Atkins. Here's Arminger. Arminger over to Stillwagon. Tristan Stillwagon. He's got Bleibtreu on him. Now in front, Bleibtreu steals it. Looking to escape the zone. Nate Bleibtreu over the blue line, now over the red. Bleibtreu coming in over the blue. Into the Pope John end. Off of Stillwagon's stick. Tristan Stillwagon, the pass intercepted by Drellick. It's actually Thomas Cook, number 86 for High Point. Monda in the corner with Dixon. Logan Dixon steals it away. With 2:30 remaining in the first period, and Pope John leading 3-1. Dixon with the shot, off of the skates of Damian Slater. Walsh tried to steal it. And outside the zone and all the way down the ice, it'll be an icing as it crosses the goal line. And we'll have a face-off deep inside the High Point end. Shots on goal favoring Pope John, 11-6, and the Lions lead by a deuce. Face-off to the right of goaltender Aiden Juba for High Point. Hayden Marshall will take the draw against Noah Bernstein. Bernstein wins the draw, and he'll go ahead and take it over the blue line. Bernstein coming in. A curry on him knocks him loose. It's underneath Bernstein. Walsh digging at it, so is Marshall. And also number 9 for High Point. There's Walsh. He'll pass it over to brother Luke. Luke will flip pass to Walsh along the near boards. Ryan Walsh in the corner. Ryan to Luke in front. Can't tee it up. Now back to Acuria. Acuria in the far corner. Now to Ryan Walsh, a shot. Juba got a glove on it, and it goes behind the net. And Monda will play it up the boards. Stolen away by Walsh. Now here's Monda. Michael Monda over the blue line. Monda over the red. Michael Monda coming in into the Pope John zone. Had a Marshall on him, looking for a wraparound. Can't do so. Hits the brakes. Now on the face-off circle. Shot comes in wide left. Puck's loose in the slot. Monda with the backhand. Goes wide in the post. Now Curia trying to dig it out. Pass number 18, and here's Ryan Walsh with it. Monda on him. Walsh will backhand it towards the blue line, and it goes inside the High Point zone. Ronnie Ziegler in the high slot. Ziegler coming in. Ziegler shoots. Just misses the left post. Now Marshall with it in the near corner. Marshall pass to Josh Boyce. Intercepted by Monda, and gives it over to Bleibtreu. Over to Bernstein now. Here's Noah Bernstein. Bernstein racing up over his own blue. Cross the center ice line. Now into the Pope John end. Gets around Arminger. 35 seconds to go in the first period. Pass to Josh Boyce. Boyce gives it over to Ziegler. Ronnie Ziegler, he loses his edge. Sends it into the High Point end, where Bleibtreu plays it right back out. Here's Stillwagon. Tristan Stillwagon trying to dig in. Stillwagon intercepted by Bleibtreu again. Now Marshall with it. Marshall will pass it back to Ziegler. 10 seconds to go. Here's Ronnie Ziegler over the blue line. Ziegler looking to fire. Shot. Blocker glove save, and he deflects it over the net. And as Juba makes that save, time expires in the first period. Pope John takes a 3-1 lead over High Point. We'll be back for second period action right after this. Welcome back to Skylands Ice World here inside the Coliseum for Pope John Middle School Hockey. Mike Formisano along with you, calling today's action as Pope John leads High Point 3-1 going into the second period. And again, my apologies, trying to make it through this game. After recovering from a cold earlier in the week, didn't think it was so bad, and it's starting to really get me in my voice, but we will try and plow on as best as possible. Shots on goal after the first period, Pope John leading 13-6. And the Lions up on High Point 3-1 as Pope John now going left to right on your screen in their blue and white jerseys, trimmed by white names and numbers and the Pope John crest with the lion on front, knocked $60. High Point in their black uniforms going right to left, they're trimmed by red and white. Here is Tristan Stillwagon across the blue line inside the High Point zone. Gives it over to Ziegler. Intercepted by Blythe Troy and off the glass and out of play. Goals in the first period for Pope John: Hayden Marshall, Michael Formisano, and Logan Dixon. For High Point, Noah Bernstein with the low tally. The winner of tonight's game will advance to the finals against West Milford McQuartic. If it's Pope John, we'll be with you for the finals. I believe there'll be a best of three, but we'll get directions later on. Here's a shot by Mercuria. AJ Acuria into the padding of number 17 for High Point. That's Jackson Shea. Now Ziegler in the corner. Stolen away by Shea. Goes into the near corner now. Acuria after it. AJ Acuria sends it around. Shea picks it up for High Point. Now over to Benjamin Drellick. And it takes a weird bounce again as that wall is protruding out from the boards right near the Zamboni doors. Ziegler, pass across to Hannah Marshall. Marshall, shot, saved by Zuba, and it goes into the far corner. Now here's Ryan Walsh. Walsh in front. The Stillwagon just missed the right post. Anna Atkins tripped down. No call. We play on. Here's Didone for High Point. Shea with him. Hannah Marshall defending. Shot comes in, saved by Boyce, and it goes through the crease, but picked up by Ryan Walsh. And the pass is Stillwagon off of Atkins' stick. Here is Nate Clyde-Troy with it. Clyde-Troy off the glass, and now picked up by Marshall for Pope John. She plays it in, but an on and off side. 13:23 remaining second period. It's the Pope John Lions 3. High Point, Wallkill, Kittatinny 1. Shots on now 14-7 in favor of Pope John as they're doubling up High Point. The Lions won game 1, 10-7 in week number 3, and fell for the only time this season against High Point, 10-6 in week number 9. Here's Marshall inside the zone. Marshall on the face-off dot. Marshall tees it up. He goes ahead and pulls it back, gives to Arminger. Arminger with the shot, just through the crease and into the near corner. Arminger missed a goal by inches there. Here is Marshall over to Dixon. Logan Dixon. Pretty clean game so far, no penalties. Dixon fires, he scores! Logan Dixon into the lower left portion of the net. And Logan has found the twine twice tonight. 4-1 Pope John over High Point. What a shot by Dixon into that lower left portion of the net. And Logan, who was an all-star in his travel team league at Skylands this year, showing how special he really is. 4-1 Pope John over High Point. As Marshall wins the draw and gives it back to Logan Dixon. Dixon over to Arminger. Arminger, pass intercepted by Noah Bernstein. Now to Monda. Bernstein-Monda combination coming in. The shot saved by Boyce. And oh, hold on. And I'll tell you what, you start seeing Bernstein-Monda, Slater out there and starting to break inside the zone. Pope John's got to keep their edge up. And that's just what they did there, as Boyce was able to make the save off the shot that came in from the corner. Here's Monda again. Pass across. Intercepted by Arminger. Aiden Arminger logging heavy minutes and playing very well tonight. Here is Walsh. Walsh sends it in. Juba is able to make the save and cover and hold on. 2 goals by Logan Dixon and 1 by Hayden Marshall, 1 by Michael Formisano, and Pope John leading 4-1 over High Point. The Lions, as I said, have not played in 4 weeks. Their last game against Jefferson, an 8-3 victory. Here's Stillwagon on the face-off dot. Stillwagon with the shot, just wide right. It just missed that post. Now Walsh. Walsh with the pass to Ziegler. Gives it back to Ryan Walsh. Along the far boards, tied up by Slater along the boards. Comes out to Monda. Stillwagon with it now. Actually, that was Bernstein, not Slater. Ziegler with it. Ronnie Ziegler. This is the Monda. Monda breaks the zone. Cross the red line, trying to get past Formisano. The shot comes in wide left. Goes along the near boards. Slater with it. Stillwagon intercepts. Over to Ziegler. Ronnie Ziegler across the red line. Now across the blue. Ziegler with the shot. He fanned on it. And stolen away by Bernstein. Noah Bernstein. Across the blue. Now across the red. Trying to get around Acuria. Bernstein all alone. The shot. Wide left. Just missed the corner. Comes outside the zone, and there's Ziegler. Roddy Ziegler on the break, trying to get it all alone. The shot over the crossbar and off the glass. Slater was breathing down on him. It's as Ziegler didn't have much time to set up a shot. Here's Monda. Can't handle. Goes over to Marshall. Now Monda back inside the zone. Monda with Bernstein. The shot. Blocker glove save by James Boyce. Great save by Boyce, who's been stellar for the Lions all season long. Puck in the scrum, and it comes out to Luke Walsh now to Hayden Marshall. Marshall coming in. Hayden Marshall on a break. Marshall, the shot. He scores! Hayden Marshall, his second of the game. And Pope John takes a 5-1 lead. Well, Marshall Deke Shuba is able to put the backhander into the net. And the Lions are up 5-1. 10:27 remaining here in the second period. Pope John starting to pull away just a bit here in this early second period. Plenty of game to go, however. Lions up 5-1. Here's Hannah Marshall with it. Pass up to Josh Boyce. Right in front of us, he'll back up. Blytroy in there along with Boyce. Blytroy comes out with it. Nate Blytroy into the zone. The shot saved by Boyce. And he'll cover. Shots on goal now favoring Pope John 17-10. 10-12 remaining in the second period. Face-off won by Marshall. Tried to go forward with it. Knocked off his stick. Comes over to Boyce. Josh Boyce. Off of the equipment of a High Point defender. That's number 14 for High Point. Now Anna Atkins inside the zone. Atkins through the crease. And slides past the left post. Now Marshall behind the net. Anna Marshall with it. Pass across behind the net. Logan Dixon picks it up. Dixon with the cross-ice pass to Luke Walsh. Walsh tips it over to Hayden Marshall. Marshall gets around Atkins. Marshall coming in. Goes behind the net. Stolen away by Jackson Shea. And here comes Shea over the blue line. Now over the red, coming inside the zone. Oh, nice defensive move by Dixon as he rattled the puck off of Shea's stick. And it goes into the corner. Marshall's able to take it. And Boyce with it now for Pope John. Boyce and Luke Walsh. He couldn't set it up properly, so the puck goes over to Blytroy. 8:59 to go in the second period. Pope John leading 5-1. Logan Dixon with 2 goals. Hayden Marshall with a pair. And Formisano to complete the full house. Here's Dixon, the shot. Oh, he was looking for the left post just inside. It went outside instead. That would have given him a hat trick. Into the netting and out of play by Blytroy. And we take a break. 8:37 remaining. 5-1 Pope John. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Skylands Ice World inside the Coliseum. Mike Formisano along with you, calling tonight's game. The semifinal matchup between Pope John and High Point. Stillwagon takes it behind the net down to Formisano. The shot saved by Juba. Well, Formisano was looking to get even as well with 2 goals. Now in front, tried to tip it, and it went just wide right. And Slater's able to send it down the ice, and it crosses the goal line, and that'll be an icing on High Point. .8:15 remaining here in the second period. Stillwagon with the draw to the left of Zuba. Ziegler and Ryan Walsh on the wings. Formisano and Armiger on defense. Formisano has it at the red line. He'll tip it back to Stillwagon. Tristan Stillwagon looking to break inside the zone. Here comes Stillwagon. The pass across the Walsh. The shot. He scores! Oh, what a pretty play. Tristan Stillwagon with the pass right onto the tape of Ryan Walsh, who pounds it home. And the Lions take a 6-1 lead. Walsh with the goal, Stillwagon the assist, and the Lions up by 5. So now Luke Walsh will take the draw against Noah Bernstein. No, it's actually going to be Hayden Marshall. Walsh and Boyce on the wings, along with Hannah Marshall and A.J. Acuria on defense. Acuria with it now, sends it up to Marshall, intercepted by Monda. Michael Monda on the red line. Comes into the Pope John zone, the shot, deflected, and it goes in. I think it may have hit off the stick of Hannah Marshall, but either way, it's going to be Michael Monda's goal. And Monda on the scoreboard, his first of the game, and it'll make it 6-2, Pope John over High Point. So Bernstein and Monda with goals for High Point and Wallkill Kittatinny. Marshall and Bernstein with the draw. Marshall wins it, goes forward. Knocked off his stick by Monda. Here is Josh Boyce. Boyce inside the zone. Marshall trying to sneak in. Monda with the pass over to Jackson Shea. Shea along the near boards. Got a Curie on him. Boyce now helps out. Pass across in the slot, in the crease. Comes in on Boyce. He's trying to cover. And Hannah Marshall able to help him out as Boyce was able to lock it down before Bernstein could slide it past him. 7:18, we're halfway through. It's Pope John 6, High Point 2. Mike Formisano alone is calling tonight's game. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Sunday evening in March. The season started way back in November 23. 10-game regular season. Pope John won 9 of them. Now the semifinal tonight, a single elimination against High Point, the one team that beat them in the regular season. Here's Ziegler. Ronnie Ziegler along the far boards. The winner of this matchup will play West Milford Pequannock in the finals. I believe it will be a best of 3, but I'm not sure. We will find out more clarification after tonight. Ziegler got the stick up on High Point forward there. Here's Slater up to Monda. Just past him, and there's Dixon with it. Logan Dixon along the far boards. Naidone working to try and get it out of there. And now Ryan Walsh will dig it out. Walsh with the backhander. Monda holds it at the line. Now on the side of the net. Picked up by Pope John, Michael Formisano. Puck comes in on Boise, makes the save, and he'll hold on. 6:20 to go in the second. Pope John up by 4. Face off to the left of James Boyce. It'll be Bernstein and Marshall. Here's the draw. Goes over to Boyce. Boyce has it along the boards. Pope John looking to add to their Junior Lions collections of championships. In this past year alone, or past 12 months, I should say, the Junior Lions have won a title in lacrosse and a 13U football team. And they're looking to do the same with middle school hockey. Here's Luke Walsh, the pass across to Josh Boyce. Boyce behind the net. Now we'll give a trifecta of championships for the Pope John Lions on the Junior Lion level. Shot in, save, Boyce, and he covers. And he had a little bit of a problem handling the puck there, but was able to freeze it and get the whistle. Well, 5:35 to go here in the second period. Pope John varsity hockey was in the state tournament just a couple of weeks ago, and they won their quarterfinal matchup. No, I think the first round matchup against St. Joe's, 3-0 here at Skylands, right on this ice. We'll get back to that in a second. Here's Marshall. Marshall coming in. Marshall with the shot. See Juba, and he'll hold on right into the breadbasket, and he'll cover for the faceoff. So saying, Pope John varsity hockey, they won that game 3-0, and then they went on to face the number 1 seeded Don Bosco Prep. And that was at the Ice Vault in Wayne. Well, Don Bosco went up 2-0, but the Lions fought back and got a 2-2 tie and sent the game to overtime, but unfortunately fell 3-2 in overtime, ending their season. Great performance by Pope John, almost pulling off the improbable upset. And it would have been great for Pope John. Bright days ahead for them, and hopefully if this middle school hockey team has anything to say about it, Pope John hockey is going to get stronger and stronger as the years go on. Dixon at the point, the cross, ice pass to Marshall. Marshall with the shot deflected. Joby got a piece of it. And here is Ryan Walsh. Walsh to Dixon. Logan Dixon. High slot. Dixon coming in on the backhand. Logan Dixon will turn back around. Dixon with cross ice to Marshall. Into Walsh. Walsh back to Marshall. It's past her stick. Goes all the way down the ice. But before High Point can do anything, Dixon races back, and actually Boyce comes out of his net to play it. Now Ziegler gets past Blythe Troy. Goes inside of the zone. Still wagging off the ankle of Blythe Troy, and Juba gets a stick on it. Now Walsh being tied up by Atkins. Ryan Walsh with it. Shea knocks him off the puck. Now Walsh off the glass. Goes into the far corner. Here's Hannah Marshall. Intercepted by Anna Atkins. She comes back in offside. Slams a stick in disgust. We'll have a face-off just outside the Pope John end. 6-2. Lions lead over High Point. 3:55 remaining in the second period. It'll be Marshall against Shea for High Point. Marshall wins it, goes forward. Shea takes it back, however. The shot comes in. Blocker glove save by James Boyce. Hey, they used to call those waffles. We've talked about that before. I miss those, where you had the blocker glove with little circles like air vents, and it looked like a waffle. But they don't make them like that anymore. It's just one piece of leather or material over the blocking glove. So, rest in peace to the waffle. Maybe it'll be reincarnated someday as something else. Puck along the near boards, right in front of the High Point bench. Formisano picks it up. Michael Formisano with it over the red line. Now sends it into the High Point end. There's Slater. Held in by Luke Walsh. Walsh coming in. Walsh to pass to Formisano. The shot off the post. Oh, Formisano with the one-timer. Couldn't put it home. Now Luke Walsh gives it to Formisano. In front to Josh Boyce. Now Formisano. The shot. He scores! Michael Formisano. Redemption for him after hitting the post. He gets the puck back from Luke Walsh and is able to bury it into the net. Walsh and Josh Boyce with assists on Formisano's second of the game. And the Pope John Lions lead 7-2. Formisano's goal comes with 2:59 remaining in the second period. Lions up by 5 as there is 18 minutes to go until the finals. Bernstein with it, loses it over to Stillwagon. Formisano now with it. Formisano digging in. He's got Bernstein on him. Now Slater. Monda picks it up behind the goal line. Now Walsh. Ryan Walsh with it. Sends it across ice to Ziegler. Ronnie Ziegler. Ziegler in the backhand, the shot saves Juba. It's loose on the side of the net. Walsh has it. Stolen away by Monda. And now Michael Mondo will play it over the blue line. Tried to get around Armiger. Good defensive play by Aiden Armiger, tying up Michael Mondo. Did I say good? I meant great. That really was a great play. Mondo was trying to break in on the breakaway there and had Armiger to get around, and Aiden wouldn't let him pass. Minute 57 to go here in the second period. 7-2. Pope John leading over High Point. 2 goals in the game for Logan Dixon, 2 for Michael Forbesano, 2 for Hayden Marshall, and 1 for Ryan Walsh. We'll see if there's a little bit of a competition for any of these guys to get to the hat trick first. I know in weeks prior, I know Hayden and Ronnie Ziegler were going at it for who would score the most goals. The week prior, it was Luke and Ryan Walsh. Now you have Hayden, Michael, and Logan all with a pair, and Ryan even on the outside with 1. Bernstein and Mondo with goals for High Point. Here's Luke Walsh, the backhand over to Acuria. AJ Acuria over the blue line, now over the red. Acuria coming in. Knocked off his stick by Atkins. He's in the corner now. Cross-ice pass intercepted by Shea. Minute 25 to go, second period. Shea will pass it across in the skates of Cook. Goes past him. Here is Dixon. Logan Dixon over to Hayden Marshall. Marshall off the boards. Here's the Dixon. Dixon will skate behind the net. Tied up by Bernstein. Steals it away. Dixon won't have any of that, though. Gets it right back. Wow. Bernstein made a great play to get the puck off Dixon's stick, but Dixon double back and was able to pick the puck off his stick. Marshall with the shot. Save Zuba. Up in the upper chest area, right near the face mask. Maybe hit the throat protector. Here is Anna Atkins. Atkins with the shot. Saved by Boyce. Now Dixon with it. Over to Marshall. Gets past Blythe Troy. Hayden Marshall over the blue line. Marshall coming in. Marshall hits the brakes, turns back around. Here's the Logan Dixon. Dixon. Cross-ice pass to Luke Walsh. Walsh turns back around. Off the boards. Now Ziegler with it. Ronnie Ziegler tied up. Pass to Walsh. Intercepted by Bernstein. And here comes High Point over the red line. Bernstein, Monda, Blythe Troy, and Shea. And High Point runs out of time as that is the end of the second period. Pope John adds to their lead 4 more goals. And at the end of 2 periods, it's the Lions 7 and High Point 2. We'll be back with third period action from the Coliseum in Skylands Ice World right after this. Welcome back to Skylands Ice World inside the Coliseum for Pope John Middle School Hockey. Mike Forbesano here calling tonight's action. Thank you so much for joining us as the Pope John Junior Lions 1 period away from the finals of the Skylands Middle School League. They lead High Point 7-2 in what is the rubber match between these two teams this season. High Point defeating Pope John for their only loss for the Lions this season back in late January, and that was a 10-6 score. And that avenged the High Point loss to Pope John from November. The Lions won 10-7. So this is game number 3, and this one for basically all the marbles. The winner goes to the finals, the loser goes home. We start the third period as Tristan Stillwagon sends it in behind the net. Goes into the corner, picked up by Ryan Walsh. Pope John in their blue jerseys with white trim, white names and numbers on the back, and the Pope John logo with the lion And the hockey sticks and puck on the front, it says Pope John Middle School. High Point in their black uniforms with red-white trim, and they are going left to right on your screen. Here is Anna Atkins inside the zone, trying to get around Hannah Marshall. The shot, saved by Boyce. Goes into the corner now. There's Ziegler. Ronnie Ziegler. Ziegler will hold it. Puck comes out to Ryan Walsh. Now Bernstein tries to get around him. Formisano picks it up. He'll turn back around. Sends a pass across to Hannah Marshall. Stolen away by Bernstein. Here comes Monda and Bernstein. The shot. Saved by Boyce. Oh, his best save of the game. And the puck, did it bounce in? It bounced in on the rebound. So, a great save by Boyce, but High Point was there for the rebound and was able to put it home. And we'll get the official announcement of who scored the goal. Who was it? What number? 17? Thank you. So, Monda with the goal. No, actually, it was Bernstein with the goal. That's 2 for him. And then Monda with the assist. 7-3. High Point is able to get back on the board here in the third period. Cuts the Pope John lead to 4. Boyce underneath. Now the puck's loose on the side. Mercury with it now. Boyce made an incredible save off the Monda shot, but then Bernstein was able to tip it home and put High Point on the board there. Marshall circles around. Hayden Marshall with it on the far face-off dot. Stolen away by Didone. Didone with the pass goes to Benjamin Drellick. Drellick, number 96, sends it in. Mercury picks it up behind his own net. 13 minutes to go. Pope John with a 4-point lead. Here's Walsh. When you're up by 4 goals, you want to sit on it and play defense, but what got you there in the first point. Pope John was able to build the lead and they're able to score with offense. So I think that's what you want to do. You want to go ahead and keep pouring it on as much as you can here. And just run away from it. You don't want to give Pope High Point any chance to get back into this game. There's a saying in sports a long time ago regarding prevent defense in football. It would say prevent defense prevents you from winning. And it's very true. Still with the pass to Ziegler, the shot over the crossbar into the netting and out of play. Ziegler with the shot, it just got away from him. And instead of hitting the net, he hit the net over the glass. So that's the one you're shooting at. And Ronnie Ziegler may be the hardest shot on the entire team. He let that one rip. 7-3, Pope John leads. 26-20 shots on goal in favor of the Lions. Now here's Ryan Walsh with the shot. Blocker glove saved by Juba. And picked up by High Point. Now Ziegler along the near boards. Bernstein has it. Ziegler in the corner. We got a whistle. I think we're getting our first penalty of the game. Ziegler's going to get called, and Pope John will go to the penalty kill. High sticking for Ziegler, and faceoff will be deep inside the Pope John end. So the first penalty of the game goes to Pope John in the third period. Ziegler, the high stick, 11:47 remaining in the third. Faceoff will be to the left of Boyce. It'll be Bernstein for High Point, and Stillwagon, Marshall for the Lions. Here's the face-off. Bernstein looking to go forward with it. Gives to Monda. Monda in the corner. Pope John's going to be very careful on this penalty kill. Here's Atkins. Over to Monda. Monda. Dixon on him. Cross ice to Bernstein. Bernstein fires. Save. Boyce rebound. Save. And Dixon's trying to clear it out of the way. Now there's Walsh. Walsh will just flip it up into the air and into the netting and out of play. Oh, 2 great saves by Boyce there on Bernstein howitzers. 1:05 to go on the Ziegler minor. Shots on goal now, 27-21. 11:23 to go in the third period.
Aiden, can you do that, Ghost?
Here's a face-off. Walsh and Bernstein. Walsh wins it. Back to the point. There is Atkins. Monda. Michael Monda has it along the far board. Stillwagon knocks him down, and he's going to get called for a penalty.
Yeah, it's track.
As here is Bernstein. Bernstein back inside the zone, taken away by Stillwagon, and Tristan's going to come to the box for a trip. Bit of a hesitation there, but they get Stillwagon for the trip, and it's going to be a 5-on-3. So 34 seconds remaining on the penalty to Ziegler. And Stillwagon now in the box, so a 5-on-3 for High Point. And this may be High Point's last chance to get back into this one, but it's a golden opportunity. 10:50 to go, third period. Lions up by 4, but now 2 men in the box.
No, you're going right out, Ronnie.
Bernstein with the draw against Walsh. Gives it to Monda. Michael Monda in the corner. To Bernstein. Blind try with the shot. Saved by Boyce, and he'll cover. Good save again by James Boyce off the Blythe Troy Ripper from the point. 10:40 remaining. Bernstein and Walsh again. Walsh wins this one along the far boards. Here's Blythe Troy. Nate Blythe Troy at the point. Setting up. Looking to pass. Gives it to Monda. Monda back to Blythe Troy up top. Blythe Troy with the shot. Off of Dixon's skate. It's loose. And Dixon clears it, but not out. Held in by Atkins. 5 seconds to go on the minor to Ziegler. Blythe Troy again. Fires. Good block by Ryan Walsh. He took it right in the chest. And he's in pain. Walsh definitely in pain as he's trying to come to the bench. What a play by Walsh, sacrificing his body there. Now here's Dixon. Over to Blythe Troy. Logan Dixon looking to break inside the zone. We're going to get a Purple Heart there for Ryan Walsh to take that one right in the chest. 30 seconds remaining on the penalty to Stillwagon. It's now 5-on-4. Now Slater back to Blythe Troy. Blythe Troy to Marshall. And Ziegler looking for a break. Roddy Ziegler coming in. He's all alone. Ziegler shoots. He scores! Roddy Ziegler puts Pope John up 8-3. Ziegler a shorthanded goal after he came out of the box. Puts Pope John back up by 5. With 13 seconds remaining in the Stillwagon minor, Pope John not only has almost killed the 5-on-3 and 5-on-4, but they go up a goal on top of it. Coach Mike Bernstein from High Point taking a look at Ryan Walsh, who's in a considerable amount of pain. We hope Ryan's going to be okay. Here's a face-off. Luke Walsh takes it. Ziegler on the blue line. Ziegler skating around. Comes along the near boards. Roddy Ziegler breaking in. Ziegler, the shot, he scores! Roddy Ziegler, 2 goals within seconds of each other, and Pope John is icing the game away, 9-3. Ryan's going to go ahead and go off. So Walsh is going to leave the ice. And wish him the best. Sacrificing his body to block that shot, which is a huge block because High Point was pressing at that point in the game. It's 7-3. And, you know, they get a goal there. It makes it 7-4. They still would have had a power play. You could make the argument that Ryan Walsh's block was the biggest play of the game because that just changed the entire momentum. He blocks that shot. Pope John kills the Ziegler minor. And then Roddy Ziegler scores 2 goals in the span of about 20 or 30 seconds. And so you've gone from 7-3, where it could have been maybe 7-5. And instead, backhander comes in to Boise, makes a save. And Pope John has opened up a 9-3 lead. And now we got a running clock scenario. So that has changed the whole momentum of this third period.
We're down.
Ryan Walsh made a play like that in the regular season in the Skylands team as well. He dove the puck and went face first into the boards. You talk about a gamer, that's Ryan Walsh. Here's Marshall, the shot, he scores! Hayden Marshall inside the right post. So Marshall with the first to get the hat trick. And it's 10-3, Pope John over High Point. Marshall's goal comes with 8:15 remaining in the third period. Pope John leading 10-3. So with West Milford Pequannock defeating Wayne in the other semifinal 9-3, it looks more and more like Pope John will be advancing to the final round against West Milford Pequannock. Up 10-3 with about 7.5 to go in the third. Here's Marshall again. Marshall coming in. Marshall with the shot. Saved by Juba. And along the boards, there's Josh Boyce. Back to Armiger. Armiger with the shot. Off of Didone's stick. Now coming along the boards. Armiger with the slap shot. It was almost like a pass to Marshall, but it didn't get there. And here's Hannah Marshall. She'll chase it down. Marshall with the pass to her brother Hayden. Hayden Marshall coming in with Josh Boyce. Marshall with the shot. Save Juba. And the rebound's put home. Marshall's able to put it past Juba on the rebound. And 11-3 now the score for Pope John as Marshall has tallied his fourth. Hayden Marshall with 4 in the game, leading all scorers. Pope John up 11-3. Stillwagon with the draw, gives it over to Ziegler. Back to Stillwagon. Now to Ziegler. Ziegler with the shot. Over to Formasano, couldn't tee it up. Now Dixon. And Stephen Didone will take it. Didone over the red line. And he knocks over A.J. Acuria. Bit of a collision there. Now Formasano gives it to Stillwagon. Stillwagon to Ziegler. Roddy Ziegler looking to break in. Slater ties him up. Stillwagon along the far boards and into the corner. We will find out what the final is as far as whether or not it's single elimination or double elimination. It very well could be a best of 3. That's what it was last year when West Milford Pequannock played Jefferson. West Milford Pequannock won game number 1 with a blowout. But then Jefferson came back and won games 2 and 3 the same way, blowing out West Milford Pequannock in both those games. And the Falcons were able to take the title. So West Milford Pequannock will get their second chance. And it will be Pope John or High Point. Here's the shot saved by Boyce. Off the rebound and into the netting and out of play. Most likely it will be West Milford Pequannock and Pope John. Lions 5-18 away from that finals matchup. Shots on goal now 34-25 in favor of Pope John. Coach Maria Petro looking to take her Lions in their first year in this league to the championship. They'll have one more team to beat. Here's Slater in the far corner. Marshall intercepts. Hayden Marshall tipped down by Monda. And now Bernstein back to Monda. Monda with the shot. Blocker glove saved by Boyce. And I'll tell you what, Boyce has stood tall again in this game. Fantastic goaltending by James Boyce. And when the Lions needed it most, Boyce was there. Along with the block by Ryan Walsh that, as I said, again, if I were to mention a turning point in the game, that was it. Here's Luke Walsh on one knee, passes over to Josh Boyce, now to Hayden Marshall. Tipped off of his stick by Slater. Now Armiger with it. Hayden Armiger back to Hannah Marshall. To Armiger. Armiger to Luke Walsh. Blythe Troy intercepts. And for High Point, as I said, a lot of talent on that team. Bernstein coming in. Bernstein with the shot, just missed the left post. Bernstein is one player that you want to pay admission to go watch. Fantastic talent. Now Slater trying to pass it off. There's Walsh. Luke Walsh over the red line, now over the blue. Pass to, intercepted by Monda. Now to Stillwagon. Luke Walsh just misses the right post. I saw the 24. I thought it was Tristan, but it was actually Josh Boyce. Now here comes Nate Blytroy into the zone. Blytroy knocked off his stick by Armiger, who's had a great game. Puck goes out of play. 3 minutes remaining here in the third period. 11-3, Pope John leads over High Point. Logan Dixon, Tristan Stillwagon, Michael Formasano, AJ Acuria, and Ronnie Ziegler out there for Pope John now. Dixon, Ziegler, and Formasano, each with a pair of goals in this game. 3 of a kind. Here's a shot saved by Boyce off the stick of number 9. And that is Mason Hall. Now Ziegler runs into the referee. Formasano coming in. Formasano hits the brakes. Shot on goal. Saved by Juba. As Formasano was looking for the hat trick of his own. Now it's loose. Picked up by Drellick. Stolen away by Stillwagon. Tristan Stillwagon, the high slot, the shot. Blocker glove saved by Juba. Formasano trying to knock it down. Jackson Shea will play it up. There's Acuria with it with 2 minutes remaining. Puck goes behind the net. There's Atkins. Atkins tripped down. Stillwagon loses the stick. He's going to get called for the penalty. He knew it right away. It's not like he meant to do it. The stick was just there. And he dropped it right away. But he knew. They'll get called for it every time. They'll call that penalty. But, what can he do? Stillwagon to the box for tripping. And with a running clock, he should get out probably just before the end of the game. So face-off will be deep inside the Pope John end. And so with the penalty time going on after a drop below a minute and a half, the penalty will last the regulation unless High Point scores. Here's Shea with it. The shot saved by Boyce. Right into the chest, and they'll hold on. We have 1 minute remaining on a running clock. Pope John will win as they lead 11-3. Here's the faceoff, won by Marshall. Stolen away by Bernstein. I think Bernstein wants one more. The shot saved by Boyce. Stick save. Goes in the far corner. Bernstein knocks Dixon off the puck. He's stripped down. No call. We play on. Here's Marshall. Hayden Marshall with it. Takes it behind the net. Now over to Acuria. AJ Acuria to Ziegler. Ronnie Ziegler looking for another break as High Point has pulled their goaltender. Marshall with it. Marshall tries to send it in from center ice. Intercepted there. Down to 20 seconds. Atkins along the near board. Big collision with her and Ziegler. Now Marshall looking for the open net. Just missed. Wide right. 5 seconds to go. High Point's got it in the corner. Flips it up to center ice. Now Bernstein into the zone. There's the buzzer. The Pride has spoken. The Pope John Lions have defeated High Point 11-3 and will advance to the finals of the Skylands Middle School League. Skylands will take on, Pope John will take on West Milford Pequannock in the Skylands finals. And we will let you know what the schedule of that is, if it's a single elimination or a best of 3. The Pope John Lions are 1 step away from the Skylands Middle School League Championship. They defeat High Point tonight, 11-3. So the Lions get payback from their only defeat of the season, losing to High Point 10-6 back in November. That's in February. 4 goals by Hayden Marshall leading the way. And again, that blocked by Ryan Walsh there in the third period where the Lions were down 5-on-3. A huge block for the momentum of the game because Ziegler came out of the box and then scored 2 in a row. And that was all she wrote. Pope John defeats High Point 11-3 and they advance to the finals against West Milford Pequannock. We will be with you for game number 1 of the final round right here at Skylands Ice World. Time and date to be determined. So for everyone here at Skylands Ice World inside the Coliseum, this is Mike Formasano saying thanks for joining us. Final score once again, Pope John Lions defeat High Point 11-3 and advance to the finals against West Milford Pequannock. Have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you for game number 1 between Pope John and West Milford Pequannock.